Alright, what's up? Welcome to Only Patriots Talk with me, your host, Ryan Plant. So, today is going to be my first video on this channel, and this whole channel is going to be themed around talking about Patriots, matchups, roster updates, trade updates, any stuff that's going on that's really important around the Patriots. I am a huge Patriots fan, and I really am excited to start this channel. So here's my setup. Basically, I have my computer right here that I'm going to be using to look stuff up, and I'm going to be looking at all the important details, like injury reports, roster updates, talking about matchups, talking about advantages for one team, advantages for the other team, who's better in the, right now between the Patriots and their opponent, and giving my prediction at the end of the video. These videos are going to size up to about 10 minutes long, maybe more. I don't know. I'm going to try and hit the 10-minute mark. So up first, I just want to talk about the Patriots' next matchup, which is Patriots-Bills. So yeah, we all know Patriots took the AFC East by surprise. They took the Bills out on this 6-game win streak from 2-4 to 8-4, and the second seed in the AFC, which could be the first if the Browns weren't such a bad offense. So I feel like I'm not set up correctly. Look at me. How can I talk about the Patriots when I'm not even looking at the Patriots? I mean, you should be able to tell by the player behind me that I am. Look at this jersey. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I'm talking through my headphones. This is all new to me. I've just got a new editing app. If my phone falls, I'd be like, ah. Alright, there we go. Alright, now I can really talk Patriots. So, I really like the Patriots' chances in this game, but at the same time, I'm also not 100% on the Patriots because of what happened last year. The Patriots are never a team to go out 43-9, but that's what they did last year in week 15, week 15, yeah. I hated that game. I turned it off by the beginning of the second quarter. Things were it just didn't look fun to watch. Then the next week we lost to, I think. Next week we lost to the Dolphins. I don't know. I can't remember the schedule. So, the Patriots have just been perfect. This is exactly what I want to see from them, considering we started off by losing to the Dolphins, barely beating the Jets, getting destroyed by the Saints, sadly losing to the Buccaneers, barely beating the Texans, which worried me that this season was going to be bad, and losing to the Cowboys is probably the most intense game of the year. And then we started just playing like the best team in the NFL. Beat the Jets 13-54. We should have done that. Not 54 though. That's pretty good. Beat the Chargers 27-24. That was a good win. Mostly defense though. We beat the Panthers 24-6. Mostly defense though. Still a blowout, but that's still a defense. We beat the Browns 45-7. That's where it got insane with this team. 3-game win streak, and then you beat the Browns, a playoff contender at the time, 45-7. Even though the Browns had injuries all around, didn't have Nick Chubb, didn't have Kareem Hunt, putting up 45 points on that defense, the Browns are not putting up 45 on ours. That's a win no matter what. If our offense plays like that, doesn't matter how many players are on the field for the Browns. We are not losing that game. Falcons, we won 25-0. It's the Falcons, man. Come on. My phone case. Get out of here. We beat the Titans 13-36. Second favorite game of the year. That was such a good game. I loved that. Kendrick Bourne is looking so good, bro. I hope he puts up 1,000 yards on the season. but it's a long shot considering he's at 623 right now. But man, it's so intense playing the Bills. So pretty much I want to just talk about injury reports, Patriots and Bills. So that's what we're going to start with first, the injuries. And I think I'm just going to go with the obvious ones first. We all know Tre'Davious White is done for the season. He might not even play going into the start of next year. But that's a tough loss for the Bills. And it really makes me upset because I'm a fan of Tre'Davious White. Even though he's on one of the teams I hate the most in the NFL, he's one of my favorite defenders in the NFL. But that's a huge loss for the Bills. And I think that's gonna impact greatly unless Mac Jones chokes under pressure. Which if he chokes under pressure in this game, there's no chance at the playoffs. I'm just gonna say that right now. If he chokes under the pressure of the division, he's going not to be able to do it in the playoffs when he has the entire season on the line. His entire rookie season, the Patriots' entire successful season. If they're even in the playoffs, which I think they definitely could. They have the highest chance in the AFC, in my opinion, to make the playoffs. But it all depends on Mac Jones and how he does. Now, I don't think it depends on our defense because I trust our defense. I'm not saying our defense won't choke at any point, but I don't think the defense is the problem. Our run game is not a problem. Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris looking like bowling balls. And Brandon Bolden just steps up out of nowhere, going from just a special teams player to out of nowhere. He's just catching passes and picking up big yardage, never goes down, never stops fighting, is always going for as many yards as he can. He is incredible. And whenever I see him get a ball, whenever it's third down and the Patriots throw a screen pass to Brandon Bolden, I always have hope that he can pick up a first down. Against the Browns, he picked up 2 first downs whenever he got that ball on third down. Against the Titans the other day, he got the ball on third down. He had 2 defenders unblocked. One of them he took a hit, but they both still had the tackling advantage on Brandon Bolden. He still found a way to slip around them and reach for the first down. Great effort. He is top notch. So the Bills don't have Tre'Davious White. That's probably, I'd say, the most important part. I'm going to talk about the Bills first, just because I just want to talk about the Bills real quick. I just want to get them out of the way before I talk about my team. This team. So it's going to be tough without Tre'Davious White, but I still think that they still have a really, really, really good roster. They'll be okay. They'll be okay, in my opinion. So I'm looking at. Okay, so last week the Bills had their offensive lineman Cody Ford. He was limited due to his bicep injury. He's going to be fully available for the Bills today. That's a good one for them. That would be great. On their limited list, they have linebacker Matt Milano. He is limited to play with his shoulder. And their defensive tackle, Star Lutulele. I don't know. Bills fans, don't get mad at me. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He has illness. He might not even play. He's questionable to play. Cole Beasley is having a veteran rest. He will not be participating. And fullback Reggie Gilman will also not be participating due to an ankle injury. So that's what it's going to look like for the Bills. Obviously, Tre'Davious White is out. We all know that because that's just a huge one. And for the Patriots, wow, it is a long list. Okay, so there's no players that will not participate. So Patriots should have a fully active, starting roster. But the limited list is insane. They have nobody last week was limited that is on the full availability list this week. So let's talk about this. So David Andrews is limited due to his shoulder. That is huge for the Bills and for the Patriots. David Andrews is one of the best offensive linemen and centers in the league. He's a top 5 in the league. He is an incredible player. Him being hurt and being limited is going to greatly affect the Patriots. Hopefully, it's his right shoulder that's hurt. So hopefully that does not mess with any of the snaps, any of the blocking, but I do think it will. Our defensive lineman, Christian Barmore, is limited with his knee injury. I haven't seen much of him, but I've seen him do some stuff, but I'm saying I haven't seen much. So I'm not really going to get into depth with him. And then we have our linebacker, Jawan Bentley. That's a big one. There's been some games where you don't really see anything super exciting out of him. But there has been times where in a game where you have seen him make like a good play or two. Like a really good play or two. So him being limited, that's going to be a big advantage for the Bills. He is a big part of the defense. And this is one that I was dreading. Brandon Bolden is going to be limited due to a knee injury. That is going to hurt the Patriots. At least he's going to be able to play, but I don't want them getting him too involved, but he still needs to be involved. He is a big part of our offense this season. Trent Brown, our offensive tackle, is limited with a calf. He's been on this list for 5 weeks now. Oh wait, no, he was just put on the limited list. 2 weeks ago he was not participating. Nick Folk. How does he get injured? You're a kicker. He hasn't taken any hits. He is limited with his left knee. Hopefully that doesn't do much, but what? How? You're a kicker. You're taking hit practice? Last time, I don't remember him getting hit on the field, and if he did, please let me know. I can't turn on my comments. Never mind. Dante Hightower is limited. He's been limited for a while. He has been limited. But he still plays like Dante Hightower. He's limited with an ankle injury. That is going to be a big part, but I don't think Dante Hightower is really going to change. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. But at the same time, hopefully I am wrong. Hopefully he does better. Hopefully he changes and plays better. But if he just plays the way he's been playing, we'll be okay. And Gunnar Olszewski. He's going to be about in the middle. He's a good punt returner, but the Patriots don't really return many punts. The Patriots have more turnovers, I think, this season than punts. It's a crazy stat. But, I don't know about that one. We have no players from last week that did not participate and had limited ability that are on the full availability list this week. I think Ramondre Stevenson, he's also limited, but he's not on this list, so I'm not gonna say anything about him. So alright, here we go. I'm just gonna... So up next, I want to talk about splitting it into offense and then defense, dividing the two, talking about one team's offense, the other team's offense, one team's defense, the other team's defense. So I want to talk about the Bills' defense, and I want to see... So I'm going to talk about the last 6-game stretch, because that's when the Patriots actually became threatening to the Bills. Not 6 games. I'd say 3 games ago the Patriots were becoming threatening, but not 6. I'm just going to go over the 6th, though, because that's when the Patriots got on their roll to even become competitive towards the Bills, even a small bit. Okay, so the Bills and... Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right here. Okay, so the Bills have allowed a total of... I'm going to need a calculator for this. I'm probably just going to cut this video off. Add it up. The Bills have allowed a total of 115 points over 6 weeks. That's not too bad. It's just the one thing. It's the Bills 1 week what I've been seeing, the Bills 1 week allow a few points, like less than double digits sometimes, or it's like 17 and under. It's something like that. And then there's other games where the Bills are allowing like 30 points and more. Titans dropped 34 on the Bills, and Colts put up 41. Those are probably the two games that added up the most points. And then the other games are 11 with the Dolphins, 9 with the Jaguars, 17 with the Jets, and 6 with the Saints, which is really good defensive performance. The Colts, a heavy running team, put up 41 points. Patriots are a heavy running team. The Titans, a heavy running team, put up 34 points on the Bills. Patriots are a heavy running team. So that's what I'm mostly saying. The Saints put up 6 without Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. Alvin Kamara. I don't know. Kamara sometimes slips off my tongue, but he said, Alvin Kamara himself said it was Kamara, not Kamara. So I think the run defense for the Bills, that's going to need to be talked about. That's going to need to be worked out because the Patriots are a heavy running team. Damian Harris, Ron Stevenson, Brandon Bolden, they are all going to be power running against the Bills. Patriots are a run-dominant team. And their passing game has allowed a total of... I'm not getting to the total. I'm just going to say how many yards they allowed. So, against the Titans, a heavy running team. I clicked on the highlights on accident. Shoot, now I gotta go find it all again. Oh, shoot. I'm lost. Alright, let's go take a look at the passing. Starting from the Bills versus Titans. So they allowed, against a heavy run dominant team, 216 for Ryan Tannehill. That's good. That's good passing defense. It's pretty good. Against the Dolphins, they're probably allowed less than 200. Nope, they allowed 205. Another good pass performance. But it's also against Tua, so I wouldn't say it's super impressive, but it's definitely good to hold them to the minimum. That was the 26-11 one, not the 35-0. But that was Philip Dorsett. This is when Tua played the Dolphins. Against the Jaguars, they only let Trevor Lawrence throw for 118, and C.J. Beathard threw for 33. So that's below 200. That's good. But that was just the Bills' offense just choking out of it. No, Josh Allen choking the game out of his mind. Okay, I keep clicking off of the games, and I have to go right back into the standings. So far they haven't really allowed any big games. Mike White threw for 251 and Joe Flacco threw for 47. That's probably their most passing yards allowed, and it's not even 300, which it's hard to do it against one of the pass defenses. So I'd say against the Jets, their pass defense was not its best. So the Jets game is one to be flagged. And against the Colts, they were allowing the run all game. Yeah, Carson Wentz only threw for 106 yards. If it wasn't for Jonathan Taylor, there would have been a lot more passing yards. No, there would have been a lot more pass attempts, and we could have really seen what Carson Wentz had. And against the Saints, I already know. Trevor Siemian was garbage. 163 yards. Blake Gilligan was 0 for 1. Yeah. So the Bills really haven't allowed any, big passing yards. And in all the games that they gave up a lot of points. Okay, hold on, let me check some real quick. I'm going to take a look at the rushing yards. This is where it's going to actually start to get, you have to start really taking a look at this. So, against the Titans, they allowed 143 rushing yards to Derrick Henry. There's where it's not the passing game. We already saw the Bills allowed Derrick Henry to go all out on them. So, and then against the Dolphins, they didn't allow much. 36 for Myles Gaskin, 22 for Salvon Al-Hamid, and Tua had 10. 36 plus 22 equals 58. I'm stupid. Don't judge. 58 plus 10, 68 yards rushing. But they also held them to 11 points. so it's not really insane. Why haven't I been doing this all the time? Okay. The Jaguars, I know, it was just bad offense. It was not even impressive for the Jaguars. Okay, so Carlos Hyde, 67. Jamal Agnew, 11. Trevor Lawrence, 4. Dare Argabali, 1 yard. And then some random Laviska Chenault Jr., negative 4 yards off of 1 carry. So, the Jags was a 100-yard rushing week, I think. But there's a 100-yard rushing week again. Against the Jets, I know this. The Jets passed the most yards, so I know this wasn't a big game. Michael Carter, 39 yards. Tevin Coleman, 29. Ty Johnson, 2. Nothing impressive for the Jets. Just an average week. The Colts, here we go. This is where another big week happens. So it's been against really good running backs. Jonathan Taylor, 185 yards and 4 touchdowns. Naheem Hines, 4 carries for 31 yards. Carson Wentz, 2 for 18. Deion Jackson, 6 for 12. Sam Ehlinger, 1 for 9. And Zach Pascal, 1 for 9. They were not stopping anybody in the passing game. Not the running game. They were not stopping anybody. 4 carries for 31 yards for Naheem Hines, 32 carries for 185 yards for Jonathan Taylor. It was just power running, and the Bills couldn't do anything. And the Patriots are a power running team. Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris, Brandon Bolden. These are all guys that are power runners. And if the Bills don't fix this problem like they had against the Titans when they let Derrick Henry power run and they let Jonathan Taylor power run, it's going to look bad against the Patriots. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but you know, it's going to look bad if they don't fix that. And against the Saints, I mean, there was no running back for the Saints. They had Ty Montgomery and Tony Jones Jr. Can anybody tell me who those guys are? I mean, there's no, if the Bills gave up on a 100-yard rushing game, they are a 0-12 team right now. Okay, so, and then I guess okay, so the run defense has been downright terrible against good teams, against teams with strong running games. In fact, against the Steelers, how many did they give up to? Against the Steelers, they didn't give up very much. It's mainly just bad offense by Josh Allen. Alright. I think I'm going to move on to the offense for the Bills because this video is getting long. So for the offense for the Bills, they allowed a lot. They've looked good. I'm just going to go down the list of the points they put up. And then you can hear how consistent they've been. So we're going to go from the start. They put up 16 against the Steelers, 35 against the Dolphins, 43 against the Washington football team, 40 against the Texans, 38 against the Chiefs, 34 against the Titans, 31 against the Titans, 26 against the Dolphins, 6 against the Jaguars, 45 against the Jets, 15 against the Colts, 31 against the Saints. So it's like, at the beginning of the year, it was 40s, high 30s, and then it started going from low 30s to high 20s to 9 points to 6 points to putting up 45 the next week, and then dropping 15 the next week. They go 6 points, 45. Okay, so here's how it looked for them: 26 points, 9 points, 45 points, 15 points, 31 points. Back and forth and back and forth. Bad game, good game. Bad game, good game. They have just slowly been losing their consistency. And against the Patriots, they just had the good game. What if this is the bad game? It's a division rival. Anything could happen. So what I'm seeing is the Bills are just not being consistent enough. Josh Allen has not been consistent enough. The run game is non-existent. They're relying heavily on their defense, and what has their defense done? Everything that they're supposed to. 6 against the Saints, 6 against the Saints, 17 against the Jets, 9 against the Jaguars, 11 against the Dolphins. But whenever it comes to good offenses, Colts, they've allowed 41. And Titans, they've allowed 34, when the Titans were the best team in the NFL. Like, they're not good against good offenses, but we haven't seen enough competitive offenses against the Bills. We've seen more competitive defenses against the Bills. And the Patriots, I don't know if we should consider them a competitive offense, but they are one of the highest point averaging teams in the NFL as of right now. So you couldn't say Patriots are a good offense. Strong run game. Mac Jones is a good passer. I really think that it's really going to need to come down to how good Josh Allen plays against the Patriots when he's told pass the ball. The Bills' run game, I don't know if it's going to get going. Because 1 week, it's not 1 week they're good, 1 week they're bad. It's like 1 or 2 good runs a game by Devin Singletary that makes him look like a top 10 running back. No consistency. Just a good run a game, and that's it. And a couple of 3-yard runs and 4-yard and 5-yard, 6-yard runs. Nothing impressive from Devin Singletary or Zach Moss or whoever the other running backs are. Just not enough for them. So it's going to really come down to how good the Josh Allen's going to be. Can't make mistakes. That's what the Patriots are so good at making you do. Mistakes. Cause a quarterback to pick the wrong spot, throw an interception. Bait them into throwing an interception somewhere. Bait them into turning their head and letting pressure coming in around them. Patriots have done such a good job of shifting a quarterback's attention and bringing Matthew Judon or whoever it is around the side to get to the quarterback. Josh Allen has been a guy who has been baited a good couple of times this year. More than a good couple of times. He gets baited a couple of times, like a handful of times a game. He takes the bait because Josh Allen is a guy who really wants to make the big play. Against the Patriot defense, sometimes you can't just make the big play. Last year they got the bad Patriots. This year they might not get them. This year they could get the bad Patriots, and Josh Allen could throw a deep all game long. But they could also get the really good Patriots that we've been seeing for 6 games straight. This is where it's going to get bad for the Bills. If they get the good Patriots and they get the bait Josh Allen, this is going to go bad. We're going to see Josh Allen turn over the ball. We're going to see him make those mistakes. We're going to see him take the bait. Because last year the Patriots baited Josh Allen. He took the bait, but the Patriots didn't execute. They didn't use that bait and then get Josh Allen to throw the ball in their direction. They didn't take the bait. Instead, they just let the big plays happen. I doubt the Patriots did that again, but who knows? I'm always wrong. So that's enough for the Bills, and I've taken up a lot of time for the Bills. So the Patriots, I'm just going to make it short and sweet because I'm going to be talking about them every week. Patriots defense is their main rely. They have taken away the ball so many times, and they have put up points on a good basis. Not super consistent. Patriots are not the best offense in the NFL, but the turnovers and the amount of times that the Patriots offense gets to go back on the field, they are managing the game exactly the way that they want to. So that is the key to success. Keeping your offense on the field and keeping your opponents off the field. The Patriots have done that, and that's how they've won. Mistakes, baiting, and pressure on the quarterback is how they have put their offense on the field and helped Mac Jones to push his way to the playoffs and the Rookie of the Year. He's not an MVP candidate. I was thinking, he could be the MVP, and I don't even know why I thought that. But he has a high chance of Rookie of the Year with the way he's been playing the last 6 weeks. The only reason Jamar Chase was out in front was because Mac Jones was all the way back here, sitting down on the Patriots bench after every drive the Patriots go back. He's just sitting there looking up just like, this is not like Alabama. Now he's like, this is better than Alabama. And he's playing even better. He's more impressive than he was in Alabama. Alabama, big plays. Patriots are just not that offense. Not that big play offense that Alabama is. It's a great coaching scheme in Alabama, but it's not going to work in the NFL. But it works in college. Whatever works. But it's not going to work with the Patriots. And his transition to the Patriots wasn't super smooth, but now it's becoming super smooth. And now it's becoming to look like a perfect fit. He wouldn't. I don't think he would. The next place he'd be good at would be the 49ers. And he wouldn't even be half as good there as he would with the Patriots. So I don't really think that Mac Jones is super elite. He's an elite quarterback. He just makes the right decision. He always picks the right throws. That's what he's going to need against the Bills, and he's going to need to not get worried because he was dreading these games, and we all know it. We've seen him dread about it when he's questioned about it. He is dreading these games because he's going to get the tremendous amount of pressure as to whether or not he can do what Brady did in this division. My answer is he's not. Nobody's going to be able to do to the Bills what Brady did. But Mac Jones will be the next thing, and I know he can do it. He just needs to stop getting so worried. Not this year. That's all I'm going to say. Not this year. Next year or the year after that, then Mac Jones should be sat in the league comfortably, and he'll know how to take risks. He'll know how to play the game, and he won't be worried to take on anybody. I mean, everybody's worried to take on the Bills. It's the Bills, but he's dreading it. You can tell. You got to stay hyped up for these games. So Patriots are going to need to have a strong run game, and all I can say is the only way that they win, strong run game. Mac Jones picks the right place to put the football, and the Patriots defense does not give up 43. That's what I have for today. If you watched this video to the end, thank you so much. You're an amazing person. And if you enjoyed it and you agree with me, or if you have something you would like to say, I don't know how to turn on the comments, so just leave a like if you want. I'm not asking you to. Subscribe if you want. I'm not forcing you to. Just do it if you feel like it. Alright. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys after the game. Maybe I'll post another video this week. I'm just getting on schedule. It's my first video. Gotta get a schedule for this channel. So have a nice day. Love you. Go Patriots, and peace.